Today we're going to be talking about the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, which is also known as the Anahata chakra. So from the name, you can obviously assume that this chakra is located in this part of the body here. Okay, so firstly we'll be going through what that chakra is and what it represents. How you would feel when this chakra is functioning harmoniously, how you would feel if this chakra was functioning in a disharmonious way or was unbalanced, and then also what crystals and essential oils you can use to support that chakra and try and clear any blockages that may be present in that part of the body. So firstly, I will take you through what the heart chakra is. So again, I'll be referring to my chakra book here. So we'll be reading out of that to give you as much information as possible. So the purpose of the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the center of the entire chakra system. It enables us and gives us the ability to establish contact and the willingness to be touched and at the same time be in touch with all things. Here we find the capability to empathize with others and sympathize with them and to attune ourselves and join in with the cosmic vibrations. The purpose of the heart chakra is to achieve perfect union through love. In its pure and completely open state, the fourth chakra forms the center of the true unconditional love which exists only for its own sake and which therefore can neither be possessed nor lost. When connected with the higher chakras, this love transforms itself into the divine love which makes us aware of the divine presence in all creation and guides us to unity with this heart of all things in the universe. On its way toward achieving this goal, our heart must learn to love, understand, and accept ourselves first and foremost. Once we have accepted that all our experiences, wishes, and emotions have a deeper sense, and that their purpose is to lead us back through different steps of learning to an all-embracing order, we find in the fourth chakra a loving acceptance that all feelings and expressions of life come from the longing for love and the union with life, and that in the final analysis they too are an expression of love. The heart chakra is often referred to as a seat of our deepest and most vivid feelings of love. Through this energy center, we can also establish contact with the universal part of our soul that spark the divine within all of us. So I hope that gives you a good overview. I think most people, when they think of the heart chakra, the Anahata chakra, it's the immediate word that will come to mind is love. And that is really what this chakra is about. It is about your willingness and your ability to open your heart to love in all forms. That can be love for yourself, love for others, love for people that you don't know, love for all of creation and this universe, and approaching all situations with that love in your heart, despite the hardships that might have made you want to close that part of yourself off. So the physical parts of the body that are connected to this chakra, obviously the heart and that center of the body, the upper back, which is quite a surprising one. A lot of people don't often associate the upper back with the heart chakra, but this could be, a lot of knotting along the like shoulders and just up following up to the neck. So they are all connected just here to the heart chakra. So that's something to really be aware of if you're always tight in that area. And then also the lower area of the lungs as well. So just anything in this particular area, front and back, okay? So we're now going to discuss how you would feel when this chakra is working harmoniously and is really open, which is what we all want to try and work towards. So when this chakra is harmoniously functioning, you radiate natural warmth, sincerity, and happiness. This opens the hearts of the people around you and inspires confidence and creates joy. Compassion and the willingness to help others comes perfectly naturally to you. Your feelings are free from inner disturbances, conflicts, doubts, or uncertainty. You love for love's sake, motivated by the joy of giving, and do not expect anything in return from that process. You feel safe and comfortable with all creation, and you put your heart in everything you do. You recognize that all beings live in your heart. No longer will you look at life from a distance and think that it is nothing to do with you. You see it as part of your own life. The feeling of being alive grows so strongly within you that you begin to understand what life in its purest and most original form really signifies. An everlasting expression of divine love and bliss. So again, I hope that gives you a clear overview of how you would feel when that chakra is working harmoniously. I think what this really comes down to is that unconditional love and that ability that we should all be trying to achieve of giving that love to everything and everyone, despite them potentially not showing that back to you. And that doesn't mean that you give yourself in all these ways to people that treat you horribly. That is not what this is about. But it is about loving without expectation, loving without control, loving without boundaries, loving without conditions. And this love, this unconditional love that we are discussing right now, that has no attachments to it. It's simply just love in its purest form. This is the love that we want on this earth in generations to come. This is what we are working towards. Us all living on this earth with open hearts, which in turn has a flow-on effect to how society and our communities and the world as a whole will treat each other and will, deal with particular situations and circumstances. If we all come from that place of love, that place of unconditional love, without wanting all these things back in return, and without having all these preconceived ideas and expectations of, well, if I do that for you, you have to do this for me. Think about how this earth could be. It really would be heaven on earth if all of us tried to start to change our thinking. So it's just something for you really to think about, because it's something that I hope that one day this earth functions in that way. And it is possible. A lot of people might tell me it's not, but it is. It is possible for us to get to that stage. And I think the best example of that would be the love that you have for your child. You'll speak to so many different people when they say, I love my child unconditionally. You're not wanting anything back from them. You love them and you do absolutely everything you possibly can to make them warm and comfortable and loved and nurtured and all these things. Like, the intensity is something that people generally can't put into words. And that is the kind of love that we want radiating out of our hearts at all times, because that ultimately has a flow-on effect to the rest of our lives. And if we look at our life in that way, with those rose-tinted glasses on, if that's how you want to look at it, that's the analogy you want to use, think about how that would have an effect on every aspect of your life if that's the way that you saw things and that you approached situations and how you approached people. You might be one person, but if everyone starts to try to have this openness and fill their hearts with that magnitude of love, the flow-on effect that can have is so grand. So never think that the changes that you make within you aren't significant enough to make a big difference, because it absolutely is, and it only takes one person to start that change. So I'm now going to talk about how you would feel when this chakra is out of balance or functioning in an insufficient way. So I'm sure a lot of the things that I bring up will resonate with you, because this is a chakra that like a lot of people struggle with, because we live in this world full of, violence, and where constantly fear is put into our mind from all these different angles, and we often love and get incredibly hurt by the people that we feel we thought we could rely on and that should have been there for us, and this causes us to close off. So I don't think anyone could sit here and say that they have never been hurt in love. It's the most common pain for most people. So a lot of these things that I'm about to say, I'm sure you'll listen to those and think, that really resonates with me, and I have absolutely felt those things, if not now, at times. So if your heart chakra is functioning insufficiently, or is out of balance, or has blockages, you will always want to be there for others and give freely without really being connected with the source of love. Perhaps you always expect recognition and reassurance in return for all the love you give, and feel deeply disappointed when your efforts are not sufficiently appreciated in the way that you expected. You are incapable of accepting the love of others, and often you don't want to accept the love they have to give. You are unable to open yourself to receiving love from others. Tenderness and softness make you feel embarrassed, and you often start to close off when people behave like that towards you. Perhaps you tell yourself that you do not need the love of others because you are completely independent and sufficient within yourself, and so you push other people away that try and come close to you as a protective mechanism. You may be very vulnerable to injury and dependent on the love and affection of others. So there are various different ways where this chakra can be imbalanced. So a lot of these things are a bit conflicting, but just listen to what I'm saying and understand that in isolation, these all represent an imbalance. So when you experience rejection from others, you are deeply hurt, especially since you had the courage to open yourself up. So you opened your heart. You got hurt in this tremendous way, and you then take a step back and completely close off to anyone else that tries to come forward and offer you love once again. When this happens, you feel like withdrawing into your inner shell, and you're incredibly sad and depressed. Whenever your heart is called for, you try to evade the situation or shut yourself off because you are so afraid of getting hurt. And if your heart chakra is completely shut off and very much so functioning in an insufficient way, this will be expressed in absolute coldness and indifference, or even heartless behavior towards everyone, including yourself. So I'm sure that many of you would have listened to some of those things that I've just said and, thought to yourself, I've absolutely behaved in that way at one point or another, even if it's not right now. It's completely natural as a human being to be hurt by love and then want to just completely block yourself from receiving love from anyone because you were so afraid of feeling that tremendous pain that you felt in the past. And how I like to look at this is, it's like an armor, and it really is. Like when we get hurt like that, people build up this armor. So imagine a soldier that just keeps putting different pieces of armor all over them to protect themselves from getting hurt. That's exactly what we do as human beings when we feel this tremendous pain and we think we never want to feel that again. And all you end up doing is blocking yourself off from all these new experiences and all these other grand loves that you could be receiving. Life isn't always going to be easy, and people are going to hurt you. That's a fact. And I cannot sit here and promise anything else. Nor can your parents when they were bringing you up. Like, pain is part of life. But honestly, without that pain and understanding what true sadness is, we wouldn't understand the magnitude and the amazing thing called love. We all need something to compare it to understand what it truly is, to help us define that within ourselves. And those really painful moments and those painful relationships that you go through, whether it be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or even from family members as well, that are really traumatic, they help you when you go into new relationships. They help you to and show you what you do want and what you do deserve, and how you want to be treated and how you want to treat other people. Everything is a lesson, and everything needs to be looked at in that way. We need to look at all these experiences and understand that without those experiences, you would not be the person that you are today standing here. And that is so important, because even our most difficult times, they make us who we are. And don't for a second think that because you've been hurt all these times before, that every time after is going to be the same. You know, that's not the case. And for as many awful people out there that have hurt you, there is just as many people that will love you unconditionally and in a way that you absolutely deserve. And we need to open ourselves to have those experiences, because if you close yourself off from that and you close your heart, then there's no possibility of ever finding that amazing love. And that can be the love from a beautiful friend or a partner. There's so many different ways to have that love. It's not just in a sexual relationship with someone. It can be so many other things. So just something for you to think about, because I know this is quite a delicate topic, because our heart is just, it's such a huge part of who we are. But honestly, if we can all try and open ourselves more to love and loving each other and loving ourselves, the flow and effect we can have on this earth is, I don't have words for that. So just something for you all to think about, okay? So now I'm going to quickly take you through some crystals and essential oils that you can use to help clear blockages in this area. So the crystal that is the best crystal for this chakra is rose quartz. So obviously it's that beautiful pink color, which represents love. I think that's quite apparent. It is such a beautiful crystal. So one of my absolute favorites, and one that I constantly have around the house, because trying to open our hearts and get us to always come back to viewing everything from a place of love rather than from a place of fear, which we always seem to go to first, and I am no exception. This is just such a nice reminder, and it just fills the home with even more love, and helps me and my partner and our family to open ourselves more to love, which is so important. So just to read you a small snippet about this crystal. So the soft pink color of the rose quartz encourages gentleness, tenderness, and love. It envelopes your soul in loving vibrations that heal the wounds of your heart caused by hardness, lack of consideration, or carelessness, and opens your soul so that it is able to give and receive love more freely. Rose quartz teaches you to accept and love yourself, and opens your heart for all expressions of love and tenderness within yourself, in others, and in all creation. So that's so beautiful. That's such a nice summary of what this crystal has the ability to do. So like I always say to you, pop this in your pillowcase, sleep with it overnight, help it to do its magic while you are sleeping, which is your the best state you can be in for any form of healing. Even if you want to just simply carry it around with you when you're at work, have it in the handbag, boys' pocket of your jeans, girls in your bra. There are so many different ways to have this close to you. For the girls, having it like in your bra is like, it actually stays close to the heart. So it's a really beautiful thing to do. So yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Highly recommend getting your hands on one of these. And then as for the oils, so there are various different oils you can use, and I've chosen two which are quite prominently mentioned when it comes to the heart chakra. So the first one is rose, which is probably not surprising because we think of roses and love. Obviously Valentine's Day and all those kind of things come to mind. Now, rose essential oil, I want you all to understand something. It is a expensive oil, okay? If you are buying a pure form of essential oil, rose, you will pay quite high prices. doTERRA has a beautiful rose roll bottle, which I don't have one on me today. They do sell for over $100 for quite a small bottle. But I want you to understand something. For 30 mils of pure essential rose oil with no additives or nothing else in there, it actually takes over 60,000 roses. And that is just huge. So obviously that process and the cost of that process does have a flow-on effect to the consumer. So that is why you do pay so much for that essential oil. But it is such a beautiful essential oil for the heart chakra. It is like the oil for the heart chakra. So if you would like to get your hands on one, like, please let me know. The doTERRA rose essential oil is absolutely beautiful and it has no additives. It's exactly what you would want in a rose essential oil. Just to give you a quick overview of that essential oil. So no other fragrance has such a harmonizing effect on our well-being as the precious rose essential oil. Its gentle, loving vibrations soothe and heal the wounds of our heart. They awaken our perception of love and beauty and harmony everywhere in creation. A deep joy and readiness for dedication enters our heart. So that's so beautiful. Again, just like a really beautiful summary of that essential oil. You smell it and it's just, it's to die for. It's absolutely gorgeous. The other essential oil that I wanted to mention was jasmine. So you can see just there, doTERRA jasmine. Jasmine works on the heart chakra, especially when it comes to relation to wounds from relationships. It's uplifting and joyous, and it helps to open up the heart chakra to more love and compassion. It has a very warm, rich and floral aroma, and so helps to balance the emotional system, soothe anxiety, and can also help with feelings of huge sadness and depression. So again, a really gorgeous one to have on hand to help with this chakra. Me personally, when I was really focusing on this chakra, I just made my own blend with the jasmine and fractionated coconut oil, made it up into a little roller bottle, and just every day for a few weeks, I was just actually rolling it on this part of my body and then behind the ears and on my wrists. So just wearing it as a perfume to try and, clear any blockages that I had in that energy center. So it's such a gorgeous fragrance, and people actually always comment when I wear it because it really is beautiful and just really floral and uplifting. So a lovely one for you girls out there, you can definitely put this on during the day. But if not, just diffusing it when you go to sleep is another really great idea, which I've mentioned before. So I really hope that that has been informative for you and that you have learned something about the heart chakra. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. And just remember, with every decision you make and everything we do, each moment, let it come from a place of love rather than a place of fear. And that is such a good reminder for all of us, and it's something we should be reminding ourselves of every day, because coming from a place of love, that's ultimately what we want, and it is the way of the future on this earth, and a place that I hope we can all eventually get to. So love and light to you from my heart to yours. Thank you.